This is a 50-year-old man who's having his initial liposuction of the abdomen, and a male abdomen is different than a female abdomen. The male abdominal skin, like male skin in other areas, is quite thick, and the liposuction can remove the fat deeply, but you can also take it up fairly superficially without too much trouble. Here, the male abdomen actually extends around onto the flank area, so it's continuous with the love handles, and oftentimes these are done as one unit.
Yeah, we call it the middle ring in Germany.
The middle ring, and of course, this tends to be fibrous fat when you get into the male abdomen and the male flank love handle area. Again, the powered cannula, at least in my hands, becomes invaluable. Otherwise, these cases can beat you up pretty good.
Yeah. So we have the incisions from below, just above the groin area, and we access the different layers of fat around the umbilicus. We lift up the umbilicus. The skin again is stretched with the stabilization technique by the nurse, and we gradually work our way up. You see here the superficial part of the fat layer is removed with a few strokes, and mainly, as here seen, we are more deep below the fat fascia, and especially around the umbilicus, there the fifth area of the deep fat pocket, which is then removed. Here the pinch test shows the thickness of the skin just above the umbilicus, which needs to be carefully removed, and as seen here, most of it is done from superior to inferior.
And in this position, the patient can put their arm over their head to stretch this skin further to more easily remove the fat.
Yeah. Also turning it like to 45-degree angle to the side, we get different approaches to different layers of fat.
And we were talking earlier, with the thicker male skin, you're much less likely to get irregularities than in the female who has thinner skin in the abdomen.
It's very hard to get indentations in a male case. It would be a pretty rare condition if you see a male with irregularities.
But if you did that, you probably would have removed nearly all of the fat right under the dermis. You always have to leave a little bit of fat there because it makes it look natural and feel natural.
For the complete fat removal, in my eyes, it doesn't really mean that you have to remove everything what's there to be a good surgeon. It's exactly the other way around. It's what you leave and not what you remove.
Now, that's Pierre Fournier's one of his principles.
Yeah.
Is it's more important what you leave behind than what you take out.
And you have to be very, very definite on the evenness of removal, because in the beginning, of course, everything looks the same, but when it's healed, then you see all the irregularities. If you have spots with fat islands left, and then areas with over-resection, well, these irregularities always will show.
And just to build on that, this is a very systematic suction of the abdomen. It's not just a random pattern, but all these strokes are planned. You do, one quadrant and then another quadrant, and then from one direction and then from another direction, spending the same amount of time, removing about the same amount of fat, just trying to get things as equal and as even as possible, using all of the previous endpoints that we talked about. What about this area just above the the pubis? Some men have a fat pocket down there. How far do you think you should go down in order to remove that fat?
Just above the genital area. I would call that probably the forgotten area.
It is.
Because when the lower abdomen is retracting, then you have that pouch there, and people are really annoyed about that.